Much for that robust question session. I'll start from the questions of the dean. I didn't want to speak for much. I believe that we're going to learn more from the question and answer session. What are the challenges when you are in school? I mean, compared to your days, at with 20 shillings, I will have a hearty meal. I don't know how much you spent for your lunch today. 50. 150. Ours was 20 Kenya shillings. You let a meal and you didn't even a soda or tea or anything. But there were challenges. Some of them are still there. There were no books. The library was a very tiny library. Now I at least have seen the expanded library. We didn't have internet. Now you see even another research center. So there are challenges. The university administration was a bit hostile. It was not as friendly as I can speak the body language I'm seeing today. Now it's more like a spare, more relaxed. Those days the university was the university. I remember one vice was telling us that you order reduction. You will see me today, you will never see me again until the day you graduate if you're lucky. But and that was it, you never see them again. So those are some of the challenges we had. But we had a very close relationship with the school lecturers and the dean. Dean Lugulu was a very good man. Dean took us in as, he was like a father. We used to call him Uncle Henry. And his style of leadership was more to reach out to you as a child. So despite the challenges, despite the frustrations, you will find a way. I do remember by the time when I was almost being suspended. When I was being after suspension, I came back. And I came back when the class I was supposed to join, they were not in session. So I joined the class ahead of me, the one who I left. So I was doing my fourth year without doing my third year. And I managed to do third year and fourth year at the same time. So that was discovered in the last semester. So if I succeeded, my suspension would have turned out to be of no use. So it was discovered that the last semester when I'm doing the exams, so Dean Chebi was the dean at the time. So that thing comes up at the center and he calls me and said, Willis, what are you doing? You combined third and fourth year without us noticing. And I'm like, your system that allowed it, you wrote me and I had to come back to university. There was no class I could attend. I could go to the next available class, which was the fourth year class, not the third year class. But we spoke over it. Told me, no, regularize yourself, go back to where you're supposed to be, and we manage the process. So the main thing is this. It was more, what I say, people looking out to you at a personal level. At that point now we interact with our teachers as humans, not as administrators. So that they listen to your personal struggles, your personal challenges, and where they can bend the rule a little, they accommodate you. So there are challenges out there, but humanity prevailed. Long and short of it, humanity prevailed. Some of them is really challenging. Like we didn't have a bus, for example. Don't know if you have a bus now. You don't? So those are our fights. We were looking for buses. And the bus was to take us to main campus twice every week to use the agriculture library. I hope it's still there, the library. So the bus will come here twice every week. You go to the library, but it was a challenge sometimes that didn't turn up. Or the driver, I think what was his name? I'm forgetting the name. Sometimes he will be drunk. So driving becomes a problem. So you come to the library, you know the driver had one too many. But you will overcome when the time comes. How do you get involved? The question from Jessica. How do you get involved? As I said, don't wait for someone to create a path for you. Create your own path. Be a trailblazer. Many times, you wait to be invited. No one will ever invite you to the table once they set it up. Force yourself to the table of leadership. Cut your niche. You know, sometimes I'm asked this question, I'm going to come back to it, what is being asked by others. that why do you want to become the deputy president? Why you? And I asked why not? Between me and Gachagua, who are the first of a deputy president? No. Who was the first of a deputy president? So you are the ones who have said it from your ears, from your mouth to God's own ears. So why should we wait? So what I'm saying is this: identify your target and go for it. Don't wait to be invited, because they never invite you. I don't expect Gachagua to invite you to compete against you. I must take the battle to him. Right? So Jessica, you must just get involved. And you're going to get all manner of excuses why you should not be there, why you don't belong. People are going to throw obstacles at you. You are young, you're a lady, you are still a student. All manner of reasons will be given. You're not a polished politician, you are immature. All of them, all manner of reasons. Jomo Kenyatta, when he became president, what experience did he have? He came from prison to being a president. Yeah, that was Jomo Kenyatta, your founding father. This guy in Senegal, Dumai, 3 weeks in prison, straight to become president. So, who said you must follow their path? So, never conform to the trodden path. Anytime you see you being taken through the beaten path, just know you are playing to their game. Create your own path. Don't follow the conventional. Because in the conventional, that is where those who are going to challenge you are perfected the art. You can never succeed. What do we need to transform this country? You ask that question. I believe in this. The major problem of this country today is big government. Government that thinks it can do everything. We are practicing what is called demand-side politics, where government is the driver of everything. You want houses, I will build for you. You want fertilizer, I will bring for you. Why should the government become a housemaker? What is the role of the private sector? As a Safina party, we believe in what is called demand supply-side economics. Supply-side economics has 3 components: less taxation, so reduce tax; less regulation, small government; and then private sector empowerment. Our growth should be private sector driven. So on affordable housing, for example, how can government build houses for everybody in Kenya? Does it have the capacity, the efficiency, and the presence to do it? It can't. Look at this place, Annex. When I left Annex, these flats I'm seeing here were not there. In 2007, these are barely 10-year-old, less than 10-year-old developments. But the private sector driven, the private sector was responding to a need. There's a university here. There are students who need accommodation. They came and put up structures for them without using public money. But the demand side politicians will say, it is government to come and build those units. Is this sustainable? Government cannot be everywhere. What government needs to do is to remove the barrier that is stopping you as a private sector individual from self-actualizing. So we do that and we see a big transformation in this country. So affordable housing, when government is building it, this is what it means. Number one, government is borrowing money from the domestic market at high interest rates. So you have less access to credit as an individual. How could we do it differently to build affordable housing? We simply say, stop domestic borrowing. Government stop taking money from Kenyan banks. The Kenyan banks have money in their pockets. So they need to make money. They'll come look for you, students, offer you loans at low interest rate. Now interest rate is a minimum 18%. Now imagine you can access credit at 5% interest rate. Who cannot put up houses across this country? It will be yourself doing it, even as students. So I believe that one way to transform this country, we must change our economic ideology. We move from demand side to supply side economics. and you'll see tremendous change. At some point, we'll discuss in details, if we have time, the full components of supply side economics. They have asked me the question, what informs my political choice to be Safina? You know, I'm a very spiritual man, and I draw my inspiration from the Bible. And Safina, for the Alma, I know you are Luo, and in Kiswahili sometimes a problem. I translate, Safina means the ark, Noah's ark. That's what I like to do. When there were floods back in the day, when society was bestrode with iniquity, God asked Noah to build an ark. And it is only those who enter the ark that are going to be saved. And in the fullness of time, when the floods came, only those who are in the ark, those who are in Safina, were saved, and the ark landed in Mount Ararat. So also in Kenya today, we have iniquity in this country. There is economic turmoil in this country. There is political despondency in this country. Only those who will be in the ark, those who will be in Safina, will face the salvation when the time comes. Because one thing we must accept is this: we've had 60 years of this politics. The same politicians have been in power for the last 60 years. What is the outcome of their 60 years in power? It's more of the same. Is our life better today than it was at independence? Are we poorer today than we were at independence? Are we living a better life today? Because at independence, our forefathers said this: we are setting out to fight three things: ignorance, disease, and poverty. Our healthcare system is now in handcuffs. You can hear what the kids are saying. We cannot even pay a basic commitment to the registrars and interns. Our clinical workers are being ignored. You are only one disease away from poverty in this country today. Our literacy levels are dropping. Poverty levels in this country are rising by the day. You are guaranteed where you sit today that tomorrow you will feel more pain than you are feeling today. And yesterday, the pain you felt was less than the pain you are feeling today. That is guaranteed. Poverty is increasing in this country at tremendous numbers. That is a guarantee. But I say, that is the report card, the scorecard of the usual politics. If you're okay with it, the politicians are there. Continue with them. They are there. But if you want something new, we are here. If it does not work for you, come and join us, and we form a battalion of committed citizens, and we kick out all these politicians and create a new political dispensation for this country. And we can do it. Yes, we shall. Randy asked me a question. What to support initiatives that we meant to support youth leaders. Yes, we want to support youth leaders. I believe I'm youthful. I'm not youth, but I'm youthful. And we believe, as Safina Party, to provide alternative platform. You know, there's nothing, my dear students, let me tell you, there's nothing peculiar, there's nothing unique about those who hold these leadership positions. They are not any different from you. They are not any better than you. You are actually far much better than all of them in terms of capacity, in terms of commitment, in terms of ideas, in terms of intellect. What they defeat you in is their confidence of fools. They have the confidence to present themselves to compete, which you don't have. You are shy, so you are allowing them to superintend themselves over you. And the time has come when we must say no. We must have the courage of our conviction to offer ourselves as leaders. We must take ourselves, those of us who don't be traditional politics, into that space and reclaim that space. Otherwise, you are going to see charlatans continue to lord it over us. Look at Nairobi, for example. The governor is dancing somewhere else, and the city is drowning. Why? There are more tables on the streets. than doctors in hospital. Why? Because those who have the conviction to lead have refused to offer themselves for leadership. I encourage you, you must do it. And change starts with you. Enoch asked me that told you the backyard where I come from, at least the reasonable minimum. You know, I always say this, and it will allow me to be very pragmatic. There are choices in every election. And I've asked for those who, where Enoch comes from, they'll be given a ballot paper. And on that ballot paper, the name Willis Otieno as Jim Manjig is running it, and the name Rigadi Gachagua as who was running it. You may not like me, you may love your audience more than you love me, but make your choice. There are only two choices, Willis or Gachagua. Who will you vote for? Who will they vote for? They vote for who? Gachagua. No. I'm asking about that backyard. I'll be there with Gachagua. They'll make a choice based on what they have. You know, Bill Clinton used to run a very important campaign. He would say, I'm here running for governor, for president. That's the competition. If you think that Gachagua is doing well, he's there. Don't look at me. Continue with him. If you think the country is good, don't vote for me. Vote for Gachagua and Ruto. He's there. If you think that it represents the future of the nation, he's there. Me, I'm okay with it by then. But I'm simply saying, for those who believe like I do, that is not the future of this nation, that cannot be the face of a deputy president. I represent the deputy president. Then you come here. You may not like me, but I'm what you have. So what should students do? What should students do to support the healthcare workers? You know, as students, you must amplify the voices. You must help them run a campaign. Maybe you are limited, that you can't go to the streets because of the university's restrictions. But you can run an online campaign. What stops you from running an online campaign as students? To support the agitation by the healthcare workers. You can't ban. So come up with advocacy mechanisms to lobby, write a public petition to the members of parliament, write a petition to the president, to parliament itself, do an online campaign to popularize this strike by the medical workers. So you can do something. But ultimately, the university administration can never take away your right to demonstrate, to picket Article 37. You must go to the streets. You must show that you believe in the cause of your fellow colleagues. And you can join them in the demonstrations when they are so called. Okay? That is a right in the Constitution and you can exercise it. John Kimberly asked me about 2017. Yes, I wrote the oath that swore Raila Odinga as the people's president. Because I believed that the people had voted for Raila Odinga as their president in 2017. And Uhuru Kenyatta stole that election. The Supreme Court of Kenya affirmed that decision. When the Supreme Court nullified Uhuru's election, they in essence said Raila had won. So I went back to Article 1 of the Constitution. What does it say? Sovereign power vests in the people of Kenya and shall be exercised either directly, in fact it says directly, or through their democratically elected representatives. They have pursued the democratically elected representatives as failed. So we are now exercising our sovereignty directly by issuing an oath, administering an oath to the person who believed it. So also, when I'm elected deputy president in 2017, 27, because it will happen, and somebody decides to go and take an oath as deputy president in excess of Article 1, he must demonstrate through a process that he is the one who has won. So if he has won an agreement, it is well in order. Because that is part of
us maturing our political culture. I should not take elections to become deputy president. If I reign, the people have a right to claim that power and swear in their deputy president and president. Because that is part of political pressure. That is what makes our politics better. That is what improves our society. When we agitate, when we fight back, when your rights are clawed on. Bethwell asked the question about lawyers. This is a very serious conversation with Bishop about lawyer interns being paid some money. Maybe the time should come when this conversation actually is a real conversation we should have in terms of how do you remunerate. Because you find most students, for example, come from our country to go and study in Nairobi, or even people the opportunities are largely in Nairobi, or outside where the localities are, and they're not able to afford. Some were supported through the Alma education loan support to go to the education. Now you're a student, you cannot live in Nairobi. Nairobi can be very harsh. I remember when I first went to Nairobi, I stayed in a 10 by 10 house with 2 young men. And we had to always wait for the late night bus. You leave town at 10 so that you pay 20 shillings. And you leave home at 5 so that you pay 10 shillings to get to town. Because we are trying to now balance when to use the least fare. So it's actually a genuine conversation that even the law society and the schools and the Council of Legal Education should have. How do we provide financial assistance to those students who are doing their privilege? Should there be a minimum sum that a pupil must pay? I believe there should be a basic minimum that everybody who takes a pupil must pay. And I believe, genuinely so, that if you are an advocate, there should be a compulsory requirement that if you have a particular years of practice, maybe 5 or 10 years of practice, that can be discussed, you must take a pupil. You must. And you must pay a minimum wage. That should be part of our regulation. Otherwise, what are we doing to this profession? If those of us who have been there longer are not able to nurture the incoming. So you should tie it to our practice certificate that for you to qualify for the next year's practice, you must take a pupil. And your pupil, you must pay a minimum wage of this much. Minimum. Maximum you can extend, but minimum this much. Those are some of the things that if we discuss, probably the young lawyers will be able to find it a bit comfortable getting the profession. But I know my other colleagues, lawyers, don't like this kind of conversation because they think we're taking away money from them. But I believe we are not taking away money from lawyers. We are investing in the profession. Because what you are being paid as a student is not even enough. That is just to make you appear to the office the next day. It's not enough. We are simply investing in our profession so that tomorrow, when we are not there, the legal profession will still be strong. So that should be our commitment. That is something that I'm very passionate about. And I believe when I go back to LSK engagements, it is something that I would like to try to push to see how far it can go. Akini Modesta, my stalker. I welcome stalkers, by the way. Anybody who wants to stalk me, I welcome you to stalk me on my social media. My TikTok is called Piki Ponki. My Facebook is called Elizabeth Otieno. And my Twitter handle is called Otieno. So I welcome people to stalk me. That's a platform where we engage. So thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that I was stalker in the room. On this affordable housing levy, is the president immune? You know, we are a country of the rule of law. The president is president because the law makes him president. He is not any superior than anybody else. He's just like all of us. But sometimes in Kenya, things happen that you ask yourself, what are we doing to our country? The court says, don't charge housing levy. You deduct it. Now they've come up with a new bill. Of course, that's a new process that's been challenged. But in the fullness of time, this question of the housing levy is going to be a big challenge. Because you ask yourself, we have other levies, we have NHIF, we have NSSF. These are contributory funds. If I have NSSF, When I retire, I'll go and ask to be given my money back. You have NHIF, you're sick, you go and cash it out at a facility. But affordable housing, you contribute, right? They use it to build a house. Then you want the house, they sell it to you. How do they sell it to you? It was your money that used to build the house. Then somebody else wants to use it, and the house is built on public land. Your land, your asset. Then now you want it, your money has been used to build it, you are sold to it. Where is the money going to? They acquire it. So I believe this housing thing, all of it is not been, it was not well conceptualized. This is what you can call tender-driven projects. Quick money, do a major project, make money out of it, but in the fullness of time, this will become white elephants. Mega structures, ugly across the country, uninhabited, high-rise slums that you will be forced to bring down. But it is what it is. What do you do? Until you join something about it, you don't have their salvation. Volunteer. What is our position on the health sector? Just a tidbit. First and foremost, as Safina Party, as I say, we take a different approach. We believe that government is the businessman. Sorry, government is not a businessman. Government is a service provider. The businessman is the private sector. So what service should government provide? Health being the number one service. Security, education, as the primary services that government needs to provide. So that whatever money your private sector is making and collecting in tax, you invest it in the services. And this is what we are conceptualizing in our manifesto. First, you must come up with what is called a comprehensive package of care that graduated leads you to what is called a free universal healthcare service. How did you envisage it? We started by saying, for the medics in the room, you may understand it better. What is the number one challenge for patients in this country? It's what is called late diagnostics. People die of cancer, not because it can be managed, but because they were diagnosed late. So we are saying, come up with a system where diagnostic services is government catered for. They are not the government public paid for. All of it. Then you come up with a cluster of diseases which their treatment is public. It's paid for by the state, catered for by the state. So you can define which diseases, which cluster of diseases are they and which region. So you come up with interventions that will make sure that in terms of the cost of medication, it is not a burden on the patient. Because as it is, late diagnostic means you are going to be carrying a lot of cost to take care of that patient. Families, as I said, are only one disease away from poverty. If you take away the burden of that people of the family, then, and remember in this case, you have someone that has been late diagnosed, the disease is still a drain on the resources, the person still dies. What do you end up doing? You lost the patient and you pulverized the family. So government takes away that burden. There's something we are deliberating on, what is called telemedicine. You are a patient in Marsabit. You have to come to Nairobi to do an oncology test. Do you know what it means? 2 days travel from Marsabit to Nairobi. You must come with a carer. You must look for accommodation. You must feed yourself. Do you know what happens? Most of those patients don't come up. They can't access the services. But as we are proposing in a telemedicine model, why can't we have research centers across the counties with a teleconference to Nairobi so that we can say that every week you have a specified specialty. So you have experts in Nairobi sitting at a round table, and you have doctors plugged in from across the country. So the patient in Marsabit go to the local referral hospital, and that doctor will take the samples, send them to Nairobi and plug in when they are doing the referrals, the telemedicine, so that you are able to do patient care without necessarily exposing the patient to incur extra costs and extra burdens that lead most of them not to do it. So we are very comprehensive. At the fullness of time, we hope we have an opportunity to discuss our intervention in the health sector. And we will put up together with a team or a group who work on the health sector, both as professionals and health finance. Thank you very much, Mr. Dean.
Thank you.